Vice obtained a bunch of parts that they left on the chopping block. They mysteriously didn't include these parts, which he deliberately cut out certain parts, like even just a few words that might have not been received so well from Fox's audience. Colin, let's start with the clip that they cut out.
You know, every day we've been killing each other in the streets every day. One of the amazing things with Mayor Suarez is the murder rate has gone down. And yeah, I mean, you set that question up. You have more information about about what happened in the hospitals. So, in all honesty, I don't have the most facts, as many facts.
No, I mean in your life, like
so I might have deflected.
The COVID vaccine, the being stuck inside. Like, what did you think of all that?
I was vaccinated. It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that
mysteriously, in the part that aired about COVID, that part was cut out. That he said he was vaccinated. Tucker Carlson has been one of the biggest charlatans out there, doing the vaccine skepticism bit. So I just find it very interesting, Ron. These are the free speech absolutists on the right. They decry censorship coming from the left. But Tucker Carlson is almost like counter-censoring, i.e. deceptively editing things so that Fox's audience, the audience that they have been kind of building up to be against the vaccines, they cut out that Kanye said he was vaccinated. I wonder why.
Yeah. Well, so what did they leave in? Like what was like the kind of meat of his interview that they decided they did?
Well, there was a lot of the stuff they aired. There was a few subtle anti-Semitic comments.
Really?
The stuff they cut out was straight up anti-Semitic.
I was biting my tongue on my political opinion because I thought it would be better for my children. And now you look up and my kids are going to a school that teaches black kids a complicated Kwanzaa. I prefer my kids knew Hanukkah than Kwanzaa. At least it will come with some financial engineering. Kwanzaa doesn't, so they don't teach even Christmas itself, Christ Mass.
I mean, I thought Tucker Carlson, Glenn Greenwald, all these people were against censorship. Why would they leave that out if Kanye should be heard? If the liberals, the elites and the liberals, the people at Harvard should hear from a black man that believes in is pro-life and believes white lives matter. Why would they be cutting out about financial engineering?
Wow,
right?
That's yeah. I mean, it's like you kind of take a step back and you realize. I mean, I think you said it during an earlier segment. I forget what prompted it, but you're like, it really makes you take a step back and realize just how warped this country is. And this is kind of one of those moments. You take a step back and you realize how warped the country is, that this guy, is on this platform, is saying these things. And they wanted him to say these things based on the provocative things he says and does, which he has said some very, very terrible stuff. And again, it's like, I do think he's not well. I do think he needs help he's not getting. But, he also has a huge freaking platform. You're putting him on another huge platform and you're just letting him go off on this stuff. And it's just, I mean, it's sort of mind-blowing.
To be clear, if anyone's confused, this is stuff that Vice obtained. So this is parts of the interview. Somebody from Fox must have leaked it to Vice. This is stuff that they strategically cut and they didn't air. Now, of course, all these networks, not everything goes to air, but they deliberately cut out the most anti-Semitic, just random stuff like him saying he's vaccinated. Why would you cut that out? There was parts of the interview where they were talking about COVID, so they deliberately cut out those 3 words. It just, to me, the bigger thing, forget Kanye, like we both agree, clearly there's a situation going on. I hope he gets help, but they're full of shit. They don't believe in total free speech when they decry wokeism and the wokeness monster on the left and this and that. No, they know some words are too offensive to put out there. They know some things are yeah, no, you shouldn't say those things. They know some things are, I don't want to say worth being canceled, but like some people that are shunned in society are shunned for a reason. You could debate whether we've gone too far with that, but Tucker Carlson, who has been one of these leading people, claiming he's so aghast at the censorship from the Democratic Party and the elites, trying to dictate the way parents act and what's considered acceptable in society. They're deliberately cutting out stuff that is vile, that's anti-Semitic, he's pro-vaccine, because they actually know there are some lines. And to me, it just shows, obviously we know Fox is dishonest and deceptive. That's not breaking news, but it just shows they're full of shit, like totally separate from Kanye. To me, if that were me, I would have not aired the interview, like out of kindness to Kanye, the subject of the interview. Sure. I would have not, and it would have been a detriment to me, right? Because obviously that kind of interview, you're going to have things that go viral. It's going to make news. I wouldn't air it if I was interviewing someone that clearly wasn't well. But when you're airing stuff that fits your narrative, because a lot of the stuff they aired was equally as unhinged, but not quite like obviously anti-Semitic, it's very clear. Somebody just said it. He's using Kanye, but then basically leaving stuff out that they would rightfully be attacked for airing.
Well, I think what this case really shows, and especially as we watch like the unedited stuff, and I haven't seen what aired, but it sounds like based on what you're saying, and this is something Fox News does time and time again, they're okay with the dog whistles. But if you cross certain lines, well, then more people are going to know that the dog whistles are in fact dog whistles. And that's what they don't want.
Right. Absolutely. Colin, could you play the part with him talking about Planned Parenthood and the KKK?
Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics, with the KKK to control the Jew population. When I say Jew, I mean the 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. This is who our people are, the blood of Christ. This, as a Christian, is my belief. And I believe that if we saw ourselves as more...
So again, kind of, there seems to be some weird anti-Semitism in there, but also incoherence. And the last one I want to play, again, it's not to mock Kanye, but it's to show Tucker knows what he's doing. The last one, Colin.
Anymore.
I'll talk to him if I see him.
Yep.
But I guarantee you he see me. And I have visions that God gives me just over and over on community building and how to build these free energy, fully kinetic energy communities where we put the least impression on the earth. We're not building the new New York skyline cockfight, that we are humble in the way that we present ourselves. We've got to rethink who we are as a species.
So again, I just want to keep saying this. This is not about Kanye, but clearly Tucker Carlson, if he's leaving this stuff out, knows this guy is not well. He's clearly, whether it's driven by mental illness or not, saying anti-Semitic things, saying incoherent things, but he leaves in the stuff that fits his narrative. The clip that Fox News was promoting was Tucker Carlson asking him, what made you wear the White Lives Matter jacket? And Tucker like drooling over his answer, because they do. So Tucker used Kanye to push their narrative and to serve the red meat, white supremacy kind of stuff to the audience, but then deceptively cut out stuff that shows he's anti-Semitic, but shows you should have never really interviewed him and aired it in the first place. And I just think, people could go on Fox News. My issue has never been like if lefties go on Fox News. It's when you go on Fox News and just sit there and nod and, you know, play dog catcher to Tucker Carlson. If I got invited on Fox News, it's very likely that it would be one and done. I mean, I wouldn't try to force confrontation, but I would challenge Tucker Carlson for sure. I wouldn't be, you know, just like nodding and giving him the credibility because he's a white nationalist. He is. He pushes the great replacement theory. That doesn't mean rah, rah, MSNBC. It doesn't mean we love the Democratic Party, but you have to call a spade a spade. And I just think this shows none of these people on the right wing are actually like feel strongly about censorship because they will censor things when it's beneficial to them. Your thoughts?
No, I mean, I can't really disagree with anything you just said. I mean, it should not have aired because it's very clear, like, yeah, this guy has some issues. He's not really coherent and we're not going to air the segment. But what they chose to do instead is kind of selectively edit it, like you said, to kind of fit their narrative. And you know, it's like, I don't want to like get too into the like you know, trying to speculate why certain things were omitted, but that last statement he made that was not included. It was a little cryptic, but it was almost like he was hinting that climate change is important to care about. You know what I mean? Where he was like, we need to kind of rethink how we're conducting ourselves as a species, or whatever he said. Exactly. It was almost like he was sort of hinting at climate change. So, I mean, that's a big thing that Fox News isn't much of a fan of too. So I don't know, maybe that was why that was omitted in particular.